Hi guys, hope you're all well. I'm just setting up the tripod. I'm not quite sure if I'm in shot yet, but at some point my partner will let me know that I haven't cut my head off. That looks alright, that looks good to me. Good evening guys, Neil Cook here talking on the GSI Paranormal channel. Hope you're all fitting well. It's a live stream with regards to anything paranormal and spiritual. Although I'm not looking to connect to spirit tonight. If anything comes through, I will pass that information on. But I'm here just to answer your burning questions about all things paranormal and spiritual. Few little announcements to make as well, so keep your ears open. If you're new to this channel, this is something we try and do every week, internet permitting, because we've been having some problems with the audio, and I'm hoping all's going to go well today. I'm using a different device, but I'm still waiting on something to correct this, and hopefully as and when that happens, we'll be up and running. You will see me looking from screen to screen. All I'm doing now is just getting ready to bring it up so I can share it as well. And if you have a page, then please feel free to share it in the comments. If you're part of anything to do on Facebook, social media, and you look for people viewing your content, then now's the time to pop your link in these comments here. If you want to like and share, or should I say share, then please feel free to do so, and that way it'll hit your friends, your audience, as well as let people join in with this paranormal unity. So I'm just sharing it now on both my pages, and then I'm ready to answer any questions that you may have, anything which you'd like to ask. Then we'll look forward to answering it. As your names pop up guys, I'm going to try and give you a shout out as well. Let me just share it to my own page, share now to public. There we go. And then what I'll do is open it up on my page so I can see what you're saying. Right, let me know where you're watching from as well. 4 shares already. I think I shared 2 of them, but thanks a lot guys for the people who shares. As and when Facebook opens it up on the other screen, it'll tell me who's sharing what. You'll have to excuse the squeak. I have a squeaky chair. It's a new chair, but it just needs a bit of oil. I think it's my big backside on it. So what we've been doing, we haven't been doing much. I have, as a medium, doing spiritual stuff around town and or what I do. With regards to GSI Paranormal, we're looking to secure as many events as possible for this year. Obviously, everyone's out there now doing this, and it's very hard to secure one location if you haven't been beaten to it. We do know that some of the bigger companies out there do get the bookings in a year before we do, but we don't have that big of an audience when it comes to our followers to actually book years ahead. But we just kind of see what comes up, and then we go for that kind of stuff. 13 people watching, awesome. Let me just refresh this page. Anything, Vicky?
No, just everyone saying hello.
Hello, right. Let's see if I can get the comments up here. Right, Jordan Brooks, good evening, hope you're well. Karen Fielding, good evening, hope you're well. Adam Lloyd, or Lloyd, is it Lloyd? I'll just say Adam. Mark Butterworth, Colette McCardill, GSI, Linda Brooks, good evening. Nicholas Smith, good evening. Anyone who shares it, let me know. So thank you very much guys for sharing. Nicholas Smith, good evening. Lynn, good evening. Lynn Turner, and Amy, thank you for joining us as well. I know some of you are watching from all parts of the world, because I recognise these names from across the pond, as well as here in the UK, as well as Europe. Thank you for joining us. Let us know where you're watching from. If I don't know you personally, then I'll give you a big shout out as well. And like I did say, please let me know what group you're part of, post your link in here, or if you're just a lone worker in the spiritual field, or you've just got something on social media which you like to share out to an audience, then now's the time to do that. Forthcoming events, guys. In April of this year, myself and GSI hosting... You are sorry? My screen is froze. I'm back now. Myself and GSI Paranormal are up at the North East Air Museum in Sunderland. It's a very spooky location which we like to go to. It is a place which is quite active, not only with other paranormal groups, but as well as the spirit which resides there as residual and intelligent energy. We're kind of famous for the pilot picture which went out across all the newspapers, where whilst connecting to spirit myself, we managed to capture the actual spirit of the helicopter, and when we sent that off to you guys to ask was it paranormal, the news media people got hold of it, and then it went right across the tabloids. It is asking the question, is this the pilot of the helicopter? So we're my mum's teeth again. We're returning back there this April the 21st. We've got limited places for this event, so the first come first serve, and we do know that there's some people reserve spots already. If you look on the GSI link further down the post, so I think it's pinned at the top of the page, it's the North East Air Museum, the 21st of April. Also, my good friend who's watching here, and Linda Brooks, hosting an event this Halloween. I know you're thinking, well, we've just got past Christmas and it's not even Easter yet, but these places tend to fill up very quickly, and it's about 300 days or so to Halloween, so it's not that far away. And these guys have managed to secure a location which is well worth a visit. If you pop along to Brooks Paranormal, guys, and have a look over the next couple of days, they will be letting you know this event which is taking place down there. I'm sworn to secrecy, I can't say much about it, but I do know that it's got an overground as well as undergrounds as well, so there's lots of caves and kind of tomb-like rooms there is. And if it's of interest to you guys, I can tell you that I will be there on this event. I will be the medium on the night, along with Jordan and Linda. We'll be there on the 31st of October, which is the day Halloween always falls on. As of yet, I'm not in the position to say the location, but it is an event you're gonna want to go to. And I know a lot of the people who follow myself and GSI around our locations and haunts, these guys are going to be of interest as well. So Brooks Paranormal, keep watching their page please. Linda or Jordan, if you can post a link so they can find you in my comments, then they can keep their beady eyes on your page for as and when you announce where you guys are going, and all the bits and bobs. Good evening, Michael Smith. Hope you're well. Hope your Commodore 64 is treating you well as well. Any questions, guys? Anything you want to ask? I'm just going to recline my chair a little bit because I can, and it might stop it squeaking a little bit.
I've got a question of Mark Butterworth.
Yes?
Can spirit physically harm someone?
Yes, to an extent, and it depends on your deception of harm. Spirit can influence our thoughts, it can affect our moods, and it can also to some extent kind of mess with our energy to the extent that it will affect us mentally, and it will affect our ability to do certain things, more so on a ghost hunt. Spirit has an ability to affect us sensitive people, the sensitive ones, the mediums, people like that, and that is something what we allow to do from time to time. And I don't mean physical harm, Mark, I mean where we want to kind of paint a better picture of the character and the spirit who's coming through when we're dealing with spirit. And as you've probably seen over the TV land, you've seen some mediums allow spirit to actually make that physical contact, and you've physically got the energy of the spirit coming out of that medium. Spirit will scratch, there's evidence of that, and spirit will push people over, which we've seen in the Drake Low tunnels. We have some video footage of that as well somewhere. But I don't believe that spirit to an extent will physically harm us where it'll be loss of limb or life. And the reason where I'm going with that is, and I say this all the time, and you're probably sick of me hearing this, but we'll only ever deal with what once walked on this earth, Mark. And what's the worst character who you ever saw walk around on this earth plane? And I know there's evil out there with regards to what's gone to spirit, and we're talking about Hitlers and your mass murderers and rapists and things like that. But evil is just a word which has been devised by the church, and we use it, or we overuse it, the word. But yeah, we'll deal with negative spirit, and it may cause us some harm. I know people have been pushed downstairs and they've injured themselves, but then there's the people out there will try and justify and debunk this incident and say, well, you could have scraped yourself climbing through the doorway as you came into the haunted location, or you could have slipped because of the footwear you were wearing. So I know that spirit can physically attack me if I let my defences down, but then I'm more sensitive to others, and then I know when it's time to call in my spirit guides and ask for that extra protection. So to an extent, yes, they can, Mark, but don't worry, you'll never hear of someone losing life or limb because of spirit, unless you watch the movies, because that's just the fear factor, and they do that so you would tune in and watch the film type of thing. Anyone else, Vicky?
Yeah, Karen's got a question. What is the best equipment to use on a ghost hunt?
Good evening, Karen. Your eyes and the camera are the best. The cheapest camera going, a bridge camera, would spend more time taking pictures than trying to focus, where with a digital SLR camera it'll spend more time focusing and you'll probably miss the shot. And because you're in poor light conditions anyway, the sophisticated the camera, the less likely it's going to capture what you think you're seeing. Mobile phones are one of the good things as well, but what I mean by your eyes and camera is what you see and hear is fact. There's no disputing that. It could be debunked, but you'll still see and hear what you think is paranormal. The camera, i.e. your mobile phone or your cheap little nasty Fuji fan pics, will actually capture what you've just seen with regards to capturing the evidence. Obviously there's a lot more sophisticated equipment out there which costs hundreds of pounds and thousands of dollars, but if you're just the one person seeking the evidence, then your eyes and ears are great, and obviously to let someone else know what you've seen and heard, then you can then use your recordable device, which is your mobile phone. But things which will prove that spirit are there, or will prove that there's something paranormal there, are your ovuluses, using a voice recorder, or the EVP recorder as we call it in the paranormal world. And then you've got items which will detect electronic magnetic field, like REM pods, millimeters, and even down to the K2, where it detects fluctuation in not so much the temperatures with the K2 but the magnetic field, and the millimeters work with milligauss, and providing that you've done your base checks within that location, then you should know whether one place has a high reading or no reading at all, and then when you get something different you can then decide whether that is paranormal. But I always say as well, always take a medium along with you to your paranormal event, because he can then tell the people who are there what's there, then it's up to them to go off and capture it for the paranormal side of it as well.
Michael Smith said that he's left your question on GSI in the GSI box, but
yes,
because I'm watching and looking at the messages, I can't actually get to it.
I'm gonna look at that now, Michael.
Oh, it's alright, he said it.
Yeah, it's something to do with dreams.
If a spirit is connected to a building and that the building is taken down and moved, would the spirit move with the building?
To an extent, yes, it would, because spirit will either haunt the location, or it'll leave its residual energy, or if not intelligent energy, to the building which it much loved. What I mean by that is, if there was something traumatic happening within that location, let's just say a castle, for argument's sake, and this castle was taken down brick by brick and taken to another location as a memorial, then there's no reason why spirit won't attach itself to that. And where I'm going with this, we're talking about the stone tape theory, because everything has been absorbed within the walls of this. You will find that the people who take the building apart will have some paranormal activity whilst doing it, which is a common known fact for people who go into locations and renovate them when they're thousands or hundreds of years old, should I say. So yes, it's like your granddad's medals, Michael. They were given to him for the services to his country. They were worshipped, and there was a lot of love and energy attached to these medals, which you are proud on his uniform. And then he passes away and or they passed down the family when he passed away. Now all this energy, sentimental energy, and the energy of your grandfather is still attached to these items. So no matter where these are taken from one house to another, his energy will always be attached to these medals. If it's not a wedding ring which your mum wore, then it could be a necklace your grandma wore. So yes, energy will follow the attachment around. So whether it be a building or something like costume jewellery, ring, watch, or even something significant like a wallet, because I've had things handed to me, and you were my witness to this, because you brought me an object and asked me to work with psychometry. Whilst I was holding that object, I could read from the energy attached to it, which was your father, and then I spoke a lot about your father just by this object I was holding. Now, no one's going to bring a building to me, but we can always go to that building and read from that same energy, which is psychometry. I've read that. I'll let you read them out, because mine are... someone from Cheshire, good evening, all the way from Cheshire. Colette, Beverly, thank you for joining us. Sarah Edwards, hi, hope you're well. Don't forget, talk among yourselves, guys, because everyone on this feed as I speak, we all have the same interests. We all either follow some form of paranormal group, or we have one, and if not, then we're all connected, probably mutually through certain paranormal groups and pages on this wall. Every paranormal page I go across and read what's happening there, I always see the same names used, guys, there all the time.
Question from Amy: can this attachment hold true for gifts too, like a baby present from a grandfather?
I'm not quite sure how that reads. Let me just hear that again, please. Or
can this attachment hold true for gifts as well, like a baby present? So say it's brand new.
Yep. So am I right in saying, Amy, that a present was given to a child, or let's just talk about the present to get it right, and it was given to someone who's now deceased, and do you believe, can energy still be attached to this present as of such? If that is your question, then yes. What we found years ago was what was called the mourning doll. When a child passed to spirit, and the child was laid in the coffin in the home back in the 17th, 18th century, then they would leave a doll with that child as well, and that was a gift for the child, for comfort as well as closure for the parents. And normally, as and when that child was buried, the doll was kept as like a memorial thing, and the energy of that child would have been attached to that. So where I'm going with this is spirit can attach its energy to something. I know there's a lot of good groups out there now, Project Reveal, Project Paranormal, David Barrett and your Lee Steers are working with haunted objects and dolls. They've got some amazing evidence by working with these type of items. So yes, if something was handed to you by a loved one, and this loved one passed to spirit, whether it was a gift to yourself or a grandchild, then yes, the energy will come back. Not so much always around that gift, but because there's an attachment with the loved one in the physical world as well, if that makes sense. Did someone just blow me in the face?
No, but I got as if I got a copper. Did you see me just wipe my face then?
I've just been blew directly. It's a reversed image here. That side of my face now is just being blown on, and as I turn to Vicky, who's just, I won't move the camera, she's rubbing her face because she said she's got a spiritual cobweb.
I felt as if I walked into a cobweb, like, but never mind.
Yep, no worries. If Spirit are with us, I'm sure they'll make some kind of noise. They normally do. Michelle Evans, thank you for joining us.
I've got a question off Linda. If you have multiple objects with a lot of history to them in one building, does the spirit energy attached to the objects manifest in various ways? And if so, why?
If the spirit has some significance with these multiple objects, then there's no reason why, as it comes back and forth into the ether of the building, as the spirit comes back into that location, then there's no reason why it can't be in and around these objects. Spirit will manifest in a location, or its energy will be felt, should I say, within this location, because it had a connection there. If these objects are part of that connection, then there's no reason why a sensitive person can't work with these objects and then connect to spirit as well. Yes, sometimes people get items within a home and they move them to the farthest point of the building, the attic or the cellar, the basement, whatever you call it, and then you will hear of activity within this location, whether it be the void area of the house, the loft or the basement. Then you may find that you have more activity around these objects within that location. So if I've read it right, if we've read it right, forgive me if we haven't, then I think yes to that, going on what I've just explained. I hope that answers your question.
Wouldn't it be good if our energy, every time, you know, like a fingerprint, like if our energy had a colour to like a fingerprint, wouldn't it be good and you'd be able to see the energy that's stored in everything, wouldn't you? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to
say?
Yeah.
Like, if we could leave our DNA mark. Yeah. Good evening, Debbie Smasher Collins. Hope you're well. Diane Jeffers, if I pronounce it right. Good evening. If it's morning in your part of the world, then please let us know where you're watching from, and please feel free to like. Sorry, I keep saying like. Please feel free to share this live feed because it will hit more people, a bigger audience, and hopefully people who are into this kind of thing, whether it be paranormal or spiritual. If you are part of anything with regards to what we're doing tonight, the paranormal world, the spiritual world, then please feel free to share your group, your page in these comments here, and let these good people see what you do as well, because at the end of the day, we're all connected through Facebook. More than one, if not hundreds of us, are all in the same paranormal group, following the same feeds across the social media network. And this is just evening where we've all come together on this page. my page is slow because I'm secondary streaming this, so I'm missing any questions, but Vicky should be able to capture them.
Phil Newton said, just bought a level 2 mirror off Jason Love. It has 2 attachments, great for EVPs and scrying.
Oh wow, is it just a standard mirror, as in like one you can clearly see your refraction or your reflection, should I say, or is it being made into what we call a black mirror, which we use, where it's a very low reflection, and we use it with candles. There is a video we've got which is well worth watching, and it's how to make a black scrying mirror, or what they call a magic mirror. I will post the link for you guys to see that. It's well worth a watch. But let us know how you get on with it as well. You've just said you've just purchased this item. People always ask, do we need to bless these items? Do we have to say a prayer prior to opening them and closing them? You don't have to. You're not trying to bring something up from the darkest realm. You're trying to connect to spirit. Spirit is only what once was on this earth. Yes, you may get a negative energy if you're using it for transfiguration, where you're looking to see a relative come through on this. Then what protection do you physically need from something which is only spirit who you're connected to anyway? So but yeah, let us know how you get on with that. It'll be interesting to hear. Maybe come back on the next show and let us know what you've what's been happening with that. I'm looking for that feed now where I made a video on how to make a mirror. I'm just trying to see if I can find it in my comments as we speak. Anything else, Vicky?
Joe Banks from Hartlepool Paranormal, just up the road.
Well, hello there, Joe. Long time no see or hear. Hope you're well, Joe.
She said that she had a doll and she left it on an old sofa while she was setting up an investigation on Saturday. The doll was left there for a while as we were testing the flare, however it's pronounced, the heat thing.
The heat tech, yeah, FLIRR, I think. We use the Seek thermal imaging we have, but the flare's just as good as.
There was a heat detected on the doll, even though it was not near any radiators or a heat source. It was very strange.
Yes, we have worked with the Seek, which is just as good as the flare. For people who are not quite sure what we're talking about and what Joe's speaking about, if you've watched Ghost Adventurers, they use a thermal imaging camera, which they normally show the replay and show you it in a thermal imaging. Depending on its settings, you normally find red and yellow are the hottest points, and then the greens and light blues are the coldest points. We've had something similar. We were Halsham House, just outside of Hull. We went down there on one of our events, and whilst we were working in the graveyard next to the house, we had a heat signature coming up from the ground. And I know the ground is a lot warmer, but there was no storm drain, there was no manhole cover, and it was just all a graveyard, all grass, pitch black dark. And although everything showed a really dark blue, as in cold, there was one area which was giving off heat, and I know spirit don't give off heat unless an animal had been laid there for some time and then we disturbed it, and the heat signature was coming from a sheep or a dog or maybe a deer, then we couldn't debunk it. But the whole of the area was enclosed anyway, and yes, animals can climb into these big places over these walls, but we had something similar, but more than likely it was spirit working with this doll, Joe. It doesn't always have to show a cold temperature, it doesn't always have to blow cold air in your face like I experienced, I believe, a couple of minutes ago. It can be a heat signature as well. You do get hot spots as well as cold spots, but that's amazing. That if you've recorded it and you're sharing it, then tag JSI in it and we'll have a look at that. Thank you.
She said, could it have been a mole in the graveyard?
Yeah, yes, it could. It must have been one hell of a mole, because this was a large area. We half expected to get there and see a large, maybe manhole cover with electrics in, or like an electricity company substation or something like that, but there was no explanation for it. It could have been a family of moles, yeah.
It could have been urine.
Yeah, it could have been urine.
You know, like an animal's urinated, and because that has heat to it, doesn't it?
Yes,
and
it could. Yeah,
the animal had left.
Yeah, it hasn't baffled us. It's just left us asking that question. What the hell? But we're not.
We haven't said it is paranormal.
No.
You know,
well, we haven't even released it yet,
No,
because
we
we don't know whether it's of interest or not. Michelle, hi. Hope you're well. Question for your GSI box. Your GSI box.
Is that off Michael?
Yep.
That's ages ago.
All right. Okay, then I'll let you.
I have a question from Phil.
Yep.
Have you ever come across someone sending negative energy over to someone, and that energy attaching itself to an object?
Not really. We don't have to be in the spirit world to send energy. If you send the thoughts out there hard enough and strong enough, it may actually affect someone here on this astral plane, on this earth plane, should I say. We don't have to be in spirit to send this energy, because we're all made out of the same material, and that is energy.
I think as someone who isn't sensitive, don't we just call it bad luck?
Yeah, bad luck, and then when it goes the other way, it's karma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I have come across items with a lot of negative energy attached to it. Some of it's been like kind of come clearer the more you connect to the item. One of them examples, and I know I've just been talking to you, Joe, there, our friend Joe Banks, she's gone. Myself and Joe were in a haunted church, and we found something underneath the floor of the church which shouldn't have been there, and it needed to be returned back to its rightful owner. And there was a lot of negative energy attached to this, and my advice was to remove this item and get it back to where it belonged, and it should detach itself. But yeah, let's just see what that is. Right, okay then, there we go. Brooks Paranormal, guys, pop along to their page. He has just announced some information of what we were talking about earlier on with regards to a forthcoming event. Brooks Paranormal are happy to announce that they will be joined by Spirit Medium, myself, from Ghosts of Britain Showcase Cinema TV, and our special Halloween event of the year. Neil will be our special guest medium for the night. I'm an extra large, really, and we're all very much looking forward to this event. They're going to announce the details shortly, but mark it on your calendar, guys. These guys are really good at what they do, and the majority of people are. It's very rare you come across.
They're a great team.
They're a great team, and at this moment in time they're doing a lot with the radio. You hear them on some of these radio podcasts and social media shows. They've worked with some amazing people like John Blackburn, like ourselves have, and myself as a medium, and they're doing a lot out there at this moment in time. They've been doing it for a long time, but some people might say, I've never heard of them. Well, it's because they're getting more popular and noticed now that they're coming to the surface and recognised. I haven't worked with these guys yet, but I've had a lot of interaction with them via mobile phone and other sources, and I'm really excited to work with these guys, and one of the reasons is they're good at what they do and how they do it, and two, they're just really good people. So that ticks all my boxes, and I'm looking for Halloween. Did you know Halloween falls on Friday the 13th this year because of some phenomena? But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I am. It'll be an amazing night.
Phil said, all I can say is that he got sent energy over to him, and it attached itself to a teddy. Right,
I see. A lot of people back in the day who used to send negative energy around the place, and I think you've just hit on that, was the witches. black magic and satanic things which went on. We've been to locations where things like that have happened. Broome Castle, where we picked up on some kind of worship and going on at the altar. When we asked for this evidence, not only did Lee Steer's equipment go off the scale, but the obulus and the other equipment they were using answered my questions I was asking as a medium. The Drakelow tunnels in Kidderminster, if anyone's been to that location as well, when I first went there with John Blackburn, I picked up on some negative energy. The only way I could describe these people were in cloaks. They were stood round in the circle and they were doing something similar, and they would have used this area, to send out that energy to either the haters or whatever they were worshipping. So yes, the witches' coven, the satanic stuff and things like that, yep, that does make sense. They're not kind words, they're just true words, Jordan. I like what I see and all what you do, and you're good people as well, and I'm looking forward to meeting you guys. Helen Steele, thank you for sharing. Anything else? There are Brill Neil. I've been on an investigation with him. With them, another group, very professional, Linda and Jordan. Yes, they are. Yes. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very excited, and it's months and months away, and I don't want to wish the year away because I'm getting married this year and I want to absorb that as well. My brother's coming from Australia around the same time, and all of our families are getting together, so it's something to look forward to, but I'm not going to wish the year away because me and Vicky are doing the special tie and the knot. I'm putting it around her neck and pulling it. Good evening, Jason. David Anderson, hope you're well. Sean Dolan, my future brother-in-law. Hope you like son-in-law, yeah, what did I say? Wow. Sean is going to be my future son-in-law. I hope you liked the video I sent you today. I hope you enjoyed using that knife to make some fresh sandwiches. Sean, he'll get that joke. Who else is there? Cheers, Neil. You're welcome, Phil. Linda, we are very excited and very much looking forward to working with you, Neil. Also looking forward to meeting Sticky Vicky. Thank you for your very kind words. She didn't say Sticky Vicky, I said Sticky Vicky. Sorry, Vicky, she meant to say hi, Colette. She's reading your comments, Colette. Anything else, guys? Anything else you guys want to ask? Let me just bring my toolbar up at the bottom.
I got asked a question today at work.
Yep.
And quite random it was, because I wouldn't have thought that this woman would be anything into paranormal or anything like that, but she looks after her granddaughter quite a lot now. And we know that we all say that children have these imaginary friends, but her granddaughter is starting to draw the most weirdest pictures of an old lady, but very detailed for her age. And she said to me, like, are imaginary friends actually not imaginary friends? Are the spirits that the children can see? And when for me, I said straight away, I don't think your granddaughter has got an imaginary friend. I very much believe if she can draw pictures, quite detailed pictures of this lady that she sees. It's quite an old lady, grey hair with a bun in it, very old-fashioned clothes. And for a child, I don't think you see many of them pictures around anymore, do you?
No.
So, probably when I was little, I would have saw my grandma wearing something like that. But for her, as a 5-year-old now, you don't really see many old pictures of old ladies, do you?
Someone's asking who's come up as a Facebook user, why isn't Vicky in the shot? Isn't a Facebook user someone who isn't?
I don't know what Joe means by that.
Oh, is it her? Oh,
why
right.
isn't Vic in the shot? As in the...
In the shot.
No.
Sorry, it hasn't come up with her name. It just says Facebook user. Right, she's sat over here, Joe. My internet's playing up, that's what it must be. Am I moving? Yes, I am.
So yeah, going back to it, my question is, do we think that imaginary friends and children are not imaginary friends? Is it the spirit world trying to protect them, trying to connect with them?
Well,
because they're so open.
we say this all the time, and the animal kingdom is exactly the same. The concept, children don't have an imaginary friends because they're born with that part of the brain open. They've got the ability to connect to spirit because there's no clutter inside the head. And a lot of us will remember experiences we had as a child, and the older we've got, the more sensitive we've got. They now make sense. It's only when we start thinking about boyfriends, girlfriends, mortgages, car payments, school and everything else, probably school before the rest, but it's only then that our head gets so cluttered up that we can't think no more about this open part, which is the ability to connect to spirit. The biggest gift we do have, guys, is intuition, and we've all got it. We've all met someone in our life path and thought, don't like the look of him, and months down the road someone says, can you remember that dude you met? This is what he went and did, and then you think, do you know what, there was something I did not like about this person, and that is your intuition. We all have the ability to connect to spirit, children more than us oldies. Our animal kingdom are very sensitive, some more sensitive than others. I can remember my postman once saying to me that, why does your dog always bark at me? And I said, well, dogs are sensitive and they don't like negativity. And he smiled and gave me my letters, and then realised and absorbed what I said, and then he grunted up the path. But yeah, very sensitive creatures, the animal kingdom. Debbie, hi Neil and Vicky, good evening, or wherever you're watching from, your world, good day.
I want to know if anyone's watching this new Celebrity Mansion thing tonight.
Yeah, I can't say it.
Celebrity.
Say it out loud, I can't say it.
Celebrity Haunted Mansion.
Haunted Mansion, guys. Excuse my chair squeaking. Haunted Mansion, celebrity.
Celebrity. Celebrity.
Haunted Mansion, yeah.
Wow.
It's on tonight. What channel?
It's on W, so it's on like Sky.
W, what's W?
The channel W.
It's on double. It's on. It's on double. It's on the channel W. Kieran, thank you for joining us. It's on the W channel, whatever that is. We don't do Sky. We very much. We very rarely watch TV, and the thing is, you can watch everything through the internet and other sources anyway. So I don't see the need to buy these packages. We do have Netflix. We're lovers of Netflix, and we watched a program the other night.
What was that medium one?
A film on the Really channel. It's on. Someone saying, if someone's got Netflix or they have the ability to watch the latest films, you want to watch Open House. It's called Open House. I'm not going to tell you anything about it, but it will have you sat on the edge of your armchair, seat, whatever. It's a very intriguing. It's marked as a horror. I wouldn't really say it was a horror. It was more of a scary thing. You're waiting for the next time to jump when watching it. Yes, there is a little bit of blood in it, but not a lot considering, and it's well worth a watch. So if you've got Netflix, search down, preferably after I've finished, Open House. Really worth a watch, guys. And if you've seen anything really good lately, then let us know and we'll watch it as well. Amy's got Netflix.
It's on in 10 minutes. It starts at 9 o'clock tonight.
Right. So we'll be gone before then.
Yeah. Yeah. Linda's asked a question. What is the best way to find out who our spirit guides are, as when you are changing guides on your journey so often? How do we get to find out who our current spirit guides are, please, Neil?
Linda, as Vicky was reading that out, I was getting out of breath with anxiety, and I feel this has come straight from your message. I'm not going to go in depth and ask you to reveal what I'm feeling, but I do feel there's a little bit of anxiety around you at this moment in time, to the extent that if it got any worse, you'd be having panic attacks. I'm hoping I'm wrong with this, but I got a very tight chest, if though I needed to breathe very quickly. It's nothing more than that. Don't take it the wrong way, and it's not something medical, but I just feel something, there's a lot of anxiety around something, and as Vicky was reading, what you'd written and I was feeling the energy, I got that tightening there. If it's not you personally, which I believe it is, then it's someone linked to you. It was very, very close, but there's a lot of anxiety about nothing. So if it is you, come back and talk to me later. You can give me a thumbs up or yes if it is you, and I won't take it any further.
The question.
I know, yeah. Don't read it again because I will have a panic attack. What is the best way to find out your spirit guide? We'll finish off on this, guys. Meditation is one of the greatest things you can do to clear your thoughts and quiet your mind. All the hustle and bustle and clutter in your head, you'll never connect to spirit unless you learn how to declutter your head. I'll quickly say this because I've said it many times before. The busiest time of your day, you've got Radio 1 playing in your head. The fastest pop music station is blasting out in your head. Then you need to, through meditation, you need to come down a channel to a more quieter channel, and then you need to come down another channel to a channel which is a talk show, and then you come down right to a channel which would send you off to sleep. Now, that theory to me and you, Linda, because we know in the UK, Radio 1 very busy, Radio 2 plays B-sides, Radio 3 talk show, Radio 4 you end up falling asleep with it. So that kind of thing. Once you quieten your mind, and only for small spurts of time, small periods of time, just take your time with this, don't spend too long meditating. It's once you've learned how to quieten your mind, this is where you're more likely to connect to spirit. This is where, even though your spirit guide or guides are stood at the side of you, you're going to hear them, you're going to get that image from them in your third eye, or you're going to smell or feel them, right? Now, my first early times of trying to connect to my spirit guide was done laid on a bed, and once I learned how to quieten my mind and come right away down through them frequencies to the hypnotic state where I was almost asleep, I was told to ask for the first name which was given to you, and the first clearest name which was given to me at the time was the name Phil, and I took that as being my spirit guide. I then worked with that name. Now, they also say that the first name given to you or the first name you hear may not be the name of your guide, but it's like a dog. If you find a new dog and call it a name, it'll eventually answer to it, and your spirit guide will be much aware that although you haven't got the name right, once you make that stronger connection and you bond, it will then come to you, and you'll probably chuckle that you've been calling Phil Gertrude for the last couple of years, and then you find out it's actually a male spirit guide, or the opposite way around. Anyway, jokes aside, that's what you need to do. Work with the first name given to you, but if you don't clear your thoughts and if you don't clear your mind, you'll end up having a spirit guide which is either your next door neighbour's name or your mother-in-law. So you must make sure you clear your mind, and through that stage, working with light as well, in that ball of energy of light going through. I know I've rushed the explanation here, but this is how you have to work with it.
I think Amy and Debbie have put some great suggestions on there regarding YouTube videos.
Yep, and Google is a good thing.
So if anything that Neil said that couldn't support you, then there's the two girls have also said that there's
thank you, Amy, thank you, Debbie. I've rushed it all into the last 10 minutes of the show. Google, you can read at your own pace. YouTube, you can pause and follow step by step, and like I said, there's 101 good people here who can support you and answer them questions as well. We all know the answers, it's just sharing that information. I've been meditating for a long time now to find mine, and I have almost every time got a golden Labrador, not a person. The Labrador will be part of the animal kingdom of your guides, Sandra. We have a guide who's assigned to us from birth. to take us through our life path, and then we have many other guides as well. We also have our loved ones in spirit who become guides as well to influence our journey as well. And then we also have the animal kingdom as well. Some people see more of the animal kingdom than the human form. They see the wolves and the birds, the owls and the eagles, things like that. But it doesn't happen overnight, and a lot of people want to do this kind of thing and they want to do it by tomorrow. And I didn't start working with spirit until I was 26, although it had been with me quite prominent all the way through my youth, my adolescence, my teenage years, right up until my daughter being born. And it was only then that I'd kind of, I won't say mastered it because we're all developing. It was only then that I fine-tuned what I was working with, and with a little help from my mum and telling me some of the techniques to do, I found a better connection. And over the last 10 years, because I'm only 21 now, over the last 10 years I've only just made my solid connections with my spirit guide Phil, and over the last 10 years I've learned more in the last 10 years than I did at the biggest part of my life working with it. Anyway, Cassie's getting restless. She's down there going for a drink. When she drinks she gets wind, so I'll end this quickly, unless it's Vicky. Thanks for joining us, guys. The link for Brooks Paranormal is in the chat here. I'm hoping I'm pointing to it. Each and every one of you, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for the love arts. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the kind comments. And we'll look forward to speaking to you hopefully next week, this time next week. If there's anything I haven't answered, I'll look back down the comments and see if I can answer them. Linda, I will speak to you later if I can help with anything.
She's gonna PM you.
Oh, that's good. And don't forget, look out for this forthcoming event, not only of ours for the Air Museum, but also look out for Brooks Paranormal as well. Thank you for joining us, guys. I'm going to turn this phone around now. You could actually see what I'm seeing, and this is because I'm having to do it third party. Let me just show you something we had set up for you, if I can do that. 2 seconds, guys. I won't keep you much longer. I'll probably drop the phone. I'm waiting on something new to set up my studio, and at this moment in time, that's the volume coming back through. Let me turn that down. We've got all the screens set up. There's one there, and then there's these three here. They're all part of the system, they're all connected, and we were looking to do kind of a light show and video show for you tonight, but my courier has let me down today and failed to deliver me something which I've been waiting for, so obviously we're having to do it back to basics. But have a good night, guys. Take care. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to speak to you soon. Take care now.